Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Welcome to Art School Live with Eric Rhodes, except that Eric isn't here. He is still traveling. For those of you who don't know me, I am Carrie Stober. I have been with Streamline Publishing for over 12 years now. I am the marketing project manager, the manager of the Plein Air Salon Art Competition, as well as the community ambassador for Pastel Today, our weekly newsletter dedicated to all things pastel, which I think I have a slide here for you. There we go. Kelly Kane does a great job with all of the articles, and I contribute some community news each week of things going on in the art community. So be sure to check that out. It's a wonderful newsletter, comes out every Friday. And with us today, we have Carol Iglesias. Her paintings are beautiful. I first met Carol it's I think been a month or so through Pastel Today. Sorry, not Pastel Today, Pastel Live. She was the winner of a ticket through her Pastel Society. So her paintings are so beautiful. Look at this color. I absolutely adore this color. It is so awesome. And I am so excited that Carol is with us today. So I'm going to bring her on in. Hi, Carol. How are you?
Great. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited that you're here. And what are you going to share with us today?
I want to show you how I use a little plan in maybe a different way than you've used your value studies before, but I use a little plan to help me get all these fun colors.
Great. I am excited. Let us go ahead and we are going to get this show started and give Carol a chance to get situated.
It's Art School Live with Eric Rhodes. Now, here's your host, Eric Rhodes.
Carrie Stober. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us, I am Carrie Stober. I am going to be hosting the rest of this week while Eric finishes up his travels. He's been all over the place doing all kinds of fun things, and you will get to see him next week. Today with us, I have Carol Iglesias. I first met her through Pastel Live and Pastel Societies. She received a ticket to Pastel Live through her society, and her artwork is awesome. I love her color, her style, and I'm so excited for what she is going to be teaching us today. So without further ado, we are going to bring in Carol.
All right, so this is the reference photo. I know it's kind of busy, but I'm going to not put in the things that I don't want. But I draw a little tiny value study. Very simple. It's not about the sketch. It's about getting those values in my head. So I start out with a horizon, and then I squint at this photo, and I'm seeing these as a big shape, the two tree areas. So I'm just going to put that big shape in. The other side, the other big shape I see is this lagoon coming down. So let's just put that in. There we go. So very primitive line drawing, but it's about the five big shapes, right? The dark, the medium, the lighter medium, and then the light, the sky. So then I take three value markers, and I use a 5, a 3, a 1, and then also the paper for the lightest value. It doesn't matter as long as you can see the difference between the values. And I simply put in the dark where the trees, that big mass of dark trees are going to be. And then the next value would be the water, which it's surprisingly darker than the land, but that happens sometimes. So then the lawn would be your next medium to light value. So then I put the lighter marker in, and I use the paper as the lightest value, the sky area, the light source. Notice I mark the light source, that's important. And then you might even want to mark your value areas as, the first area we're lay down will be the dark, and then the second area we're lay down with our pastels will be the medium value, and then the third area will be the lighter medium values, and then the sky would be the last. So I put this up here. This is my little plan, my roadmap. It's in my brain where the big shapes are.
That is so
And
good because I know for me, I get bogged down with all of the shapes. So, like that, the reflection of the tree in the water, I would have in my brain thought, oh, that's still a dark value, and I would have made it separate from the water. So I like that you're really focusing on the shape itself.
and we will get those in, but I'm thinking this is the, you know, the average big medium value there. So uh, let's get this out of the way. Then I get to the paper and I sort of do the same thing. I just for speed, I already did the line drawing on the paper. And
What is your reasoning for using red?
oh, I love toned surfaces now. For years, I mean, I've always worked on sanded papers. I love how they grip the layers of pastel, but oh, you know, I don't know, the last 2, 3 years, they've made all these wonderful toned colors. And I love because every painting is an experiment. And then with a different color, you're creating even more of a challenge, which I like. But I
Mhm.
especially seem to love the terracotta, especially when I'm doing a lot of areas of green, because then you get that lovely complementary color vibration of little bits of red showing through the green areas. And I think it's wonderful. I even don't mind little bits of the red paper showing through. I think it's exciting, and your eye, you know, fills in the rest of
Yeah.
what's there. The other thing I wanted to show you before I got started is I'm a big fan of Van Gogh, and I think he was a master with values. I mean, look at he's got turquoise and orange and yellow in his flesh colors. And then he's got in the medium area of the beard, the medium value area, he's got green and red and ochre, but they're reading correctly as skin tone and beard because those colors in there are of the correct value.
Hmm.
So that is kind of what I like to do with my color. I like to put crazy colors in my work, but I make sure and stay within the value so that it reads okay. So let's get started. And I'll start with the darks. I I will show you the little eye. Again, I set up the palette. These are going to be the palette of colors primarily for this painting. And I set them up in rows, a dark, the medium value, a lighter medium, and then the lighter values. So sometimes that can be helpful for people. Sometimes people even like to do a small little color study, like the size of the the little value sketch. That can be helpful.
Hmm. And how did you
Um,
tape down the surface? Are you using the, oh gosh, I can't remember what they call it, the reverse tape thing where you tape the back and then tape it to the,
yes, yes. I use black tape, and I use this corrugated plastic. I just love it because it can wipe off. You know, when you get your pastel
yeah,
marks, um, and it's a great way to store pastels. I do back tape though. I tape behind and then over. And if you use the black tape, it just gives you a nice negative space around your painting. And I like that relief. So I even use these in plein air. I like the black
yeah,
board a lot. All right, so I'm going to start laying in. Oh, and also I use charcoal. You can use anything, but charcoal's kind of fun because you can erase it. You know,
yeah, it
you
comes
can
off.
do your little sketch and it erases well. All right, so we're starting with the first set of darks, and I'm pretty much just filling. Oh, I need my photo in front of me. Here we go. Filling up some of the paper at this point. With, I know there's variations of darks, but I start with an average in each value area. So the average starting with the dark layer is, I'm using like a purple, a real dark purple.
I love putting purples in the trees.
I do too. Well, I love color, as you can tell. And, as artists, why don't we use the colors we love? We can do that. It's our painting and we can do it any way we want.
What kind of gloves are you wearing?
These are cotton gloves with little rubber tips, fingertips, and they're actually made, for people that work with electronics that need good dexterity. But I can throw them in the washing machine and they're very breathable. So I do like them a lot. They're comfortable for me. I don't wear gloves the whole time. I also use barrier cream underneath, but for laying in the darks, which are quite messy. So it's not as solid, you can see, but I'm laying in quite a bit of the dark. And I did love that shadow there, a little bit there. I can even start to lay in some of this reflection. This is a scene I drive by a lot, and I love watching it. The color changes, the light changes, and I find this area very exciting. I probably won't even put the cloud in today. I'm more about this area. So I am just indicating I've moved into the medium value, but because there are some darks reflecting there, and I want to mirror what I've done up here, I am putting it just a light touch. And we'll be covering more of that up. But I don't want to forget the tree reflections as part of what excites me about this scene.
The reflections are so cool. I was just at the river this weekend painting, and just the yellow reflecting off of the top is so beautiful this time of year.
I love reflections. They're really fun. Okay, so that's just a little bit of the dark. I am trying to mimic a little bit of the tree silhouette that I see up there. All right. Since I had that one in my hand. So I'm still in the dark, so I'm going to go and add a little more dark in the dark area. The other thing I love about this tone paper, it really accentuates your mark making, which I think is fun. That is, mark making is pretty exciting.
Is that a UArt board?
This blackboard?
No, the paper you're working on.
No, it's okay to say the brand name?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure. It's Pastel Premier.
Oh, okay.
And this color is called terracotta. They also have Italian clay. I also work on that color a lot. It's kind of a dark taupe. But there's, all right, so do I want to add some more darks up here? Let's get that out of there. There it is. I have my pastels in cornmeal. I don't know if you can see that, but it's amazing how cornmeal keeps your pastels clean.
I love it. So I've noticed that you have, your little box there and you keep them in there. I've only ever used it for cleaning and then putting them back in my palette. Do you normally keep them all in cornmeal?
No, I have a whole, I have hundreds of pastels. I think in trays behind me in my studio. This is a little working tray that I always use for each painting. And the working tray of the working colors of each painting, I do keep it in the cornmeal because as I'm using them, they kind of self-clean. I don't ever have to spend time cleaning my pastels anymore. I used to hate to do that.
Yeah.
Now the cornmeal does it. So I'm still in the darks, but just adding some more lights in the dark areas. And actually, I can move into, I have enough dark up here established to get the idea. Actually, I just want to get rid of that as well. I'm ready to move into the second value area, the medium. And again, I start with an average value, an average medium value. And I maybe tend to go a little on the darker side because I'm going to be adding many layers. There is this little space of sky up there, so I'm going to indicate that in the water. The colors, of course, as colors recede and go into the distance, they subdue. I keep all the intensity up front here. So I'm changing my medium value slightly, a more subdued blue. And again, for this demo, I'm not going to mess with the cloud. I'm sort of more focused on the reflections, and this is an exciting area over there. There's even, I love all these leaves or something someone blew into there. I'm going to go with some more darks under here before I put the lovely pink leaves in. The reflections, the darker reflections will be lighter than the darks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lighter reflections from the sky will be darker. It's funny how it reverses in water.
Yeah.
So we're kind of softening these somewhat. So going back to the pink leaves, I'm just going to indicate those. Coming across. Who doesn't love putting pink in their water?
Right?
I do. And again, this gets softer up here. It comes across, but we will subdue that. I'll put this down as the base color and then subdue it as we get there. Not as much pink over here, just a little bit. I don't know, I'm gonna take now that I've got some of these real darks down, I'm gonna take the glove off. Always thinking warmer, cooler, warmer, cooler. So I'm still in the same values, the medium values, just different colors. Just like Van Gogh and his green in the beard, but you could put whatever colors you want if you're in the right value. It'll read. This I will deal with once I deal with that up there, because I want that to mirror what's up there. And then this is going to be, might have to move that over just a little bit. I see I'm not quite lined up. Let's do that before I get too far along. That's a better alignment.
I love how much the blue is already popping off of this paper because of the red background.
And you can always almost start to see the values taking place, just like this little plan that I did, right? The dark, the medium, and I'm going to jump right into the next, the lighter mid value, the lawn. I like to go my strokes in the direction. If I see, and the lawn's kind of coming down like this, so I kind of go like that. And I know we need to subdue this a little bit, but it's, for now, I'm putting in an average value of the light, a lighter medium value. There's some brown, there's some, the photo is really just a reference for what I remember seeing every time I drive by. I don't care that there's little golf carts and I see there's some brown around the edge here of the lawn, a little bit of brown on the lawn. I see there's sort of the algae that grows along the edge. We'll get some of that in. And let's see. I know the green looks crazy, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too. And I can't remember. I know there's one of them. There's Pastel Premier and there's Pastel Matte, and one of them does not take liquid. Is it Pastel Premier?
This can take liquid, not huge amount of liquids, but I've done, the underpainting with the isopropyl alcohol. It can take liquid. That was, again, you change your methods over the years, and I used to always underpaint with the liquid, and I do things, I don't know. I'm always changing things, experimenting, switching things up. I think it's fun to keep learning.
Oh, totally.
So I just want to break up some of that. I can subdue this more if I need to, but I'm going to move into the sky. And I should stand back. I always stand back a lot when I work. So, most paintings are viewed. Oh, before I forget, I want to put in the ocean back there. Is that dark enough? I don't want to lose that ocean. Yep, I think that's okay. Yeah. I think that one with that one will work. I love how the ocean shows up just a little bit behind the horizon and behind the trees. So I want to make sure and get that in. Soften some of the little tree shapes there. So we don't forget to get that in. And let's pop in the sky. Because and again, I start out with, even though we're in the lights now, I'm slightly darker because I will be lightening it up. And then with the sky, you want to be thinking about from dark to light, and then from my light source, from light to dark. So kind of varying it in both directions. So pick up a slightly different color here. I guess it was with the plein air painting, I stopped doing the liquid underpainting. I wanted to get into the capturing, light a little faster, but I still sometimes underpaint, different phase. And again, this is going to be this right here. This is the area that usually I find really exciting about this scene.
I love how this is coming together. This is so beautiful.
Thank you. I I find this little value plan and thinking about it as the way sort of Van Gogh put all his colors, whatever he wanted, but he stayed within value. I find it really fun, a fun way of painting. And I don't know, it's given me more freedom. And I sort of like bits of the red paper coming through,
Mhm.
especially initially. There's some, let's see, I'm going to show a little bit of sky coming through there, maybe even a little bit back here. And let's see, I'm going to stand back, make sure Well, that's looking a little flat right now. I'm glad I stood back. You just can't see. I can't see everything up close. I need to stand back. But let's get some light down here. That should help. And that light picks through the trees, gets a little lighter over here. See, there's the direction of I just use a pastel pencil and that wipes off later. I like sky holes coming through with the trees, but I don't want to get carried away yet. It's a little soon to get those in. But that is, you can see that's going to become sort of my point of focus. So I'm just building up some different lights in here. And then it's at this point I choose how much of the paper I will cover up and how much I leave. I think I need a little bit more dark back there. So just put that. We can go over it to lighten it. Okay, so gotta keep moving. We have limited time.
You still have about 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, great, great. All right, so we've got the four basic values and the big shapes. Now I can go in and refine more colors in the dark areas, and I can refine the reflections. So I think I'm going to go back up to the trees first. Re-simplify some of these darks. Oh, I forgot to put the sky back there, the water back there. We've got to get that in. There, just a okay. I need a darker green on this side. Nope, that's not it. It got buried. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to just, now that I've sort of got that, oh, I see a point there that I don't like.
I love that you left out the cloud.
I felt like the cloud maybe wasn't necessary with all of, what was exciting to me was the reflections leading up to these little light sky peeking through. So I thought Maybe the cloud, it's too much, doesn't need it today. Even that I might soften some. Okay, so let's get back down to the reflections. Now that we've sort of got this pretty well established, although I keep looking and I see more things, almost established. That's kind of a, I changed the tree. It's okay, you can do that. It's your painting. You can make the tree any way you want. I do anyways. Yep, okay, so back to this. Now that we've sort of got these established, we're mirror them a little more carefully in here. I do see a lot of green in the reflections because the light comes down from here. If you feel like it's getting too much the same direction, just, pull your pastel in a different direction.
Yeah.
Simplify the marks a little bit. So that's sort of coming down. And I do have to push that back. I don't really look that much. Once I get the painting going, I'm really not looking that much at my reference photo anymore. I'm really letting the painting speak to me. I can put those back in or soften that. That comes. This is a little bright, but I can put some blue on that. Just trying to indicate that it goes back. I go back and forth with the again, I've got to stand back. I see a lot of little stuff back here. That's a little, have to subdue that a little. Wouldn't be quite, I don't want it quite as bright as over there. And let's just soften some of this a little bit. Just softening the edges.
We've got about 15 minutes.
Oh, awesome. All right. When I get, I don't know what's beeping. I'm sorry. Do you hear that?
No, I don't hear anything.
Oh, good. I So some of this comes down, some of the lights. And let's just soften this a little bit. Yeah, I start standing back more and more to see. Oh, I know what I want to add. Let's get some of the sky bright in here. That'll be exciting. This. Even though I'm not doing the cloud, I still see the sky is reflecting back up there. I like the little marks. Let's see. I think I need it darker. see. It seems quiet. You're still there, right?
Yes, sorry. I get entranced watching people paint.
Oh. There's an issue here. I think I need to pull in a little bit of the dark. Go. I hate it when I'm down to a favorite color, but it's really too small, the nub. I need to, it's like, yeah, I think that's what that needed. Lost a little bit of the darks over here as well.
Susan asks, what are your favorite go-to colors?
I seem to use a lot of blues in my paintings,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm really into the skies around here, so that's a part of it. Definitely the high key colors are my go-to colors. I mean,
Yeah.
I I know I probably should have some more subdued colors in there, but these colors are fun for me, so I enjoy the high key colors. I think I still need a little bright spot up here.
We've got about 5 minutes left.
All right. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I think I've remembered to tell you everything I wanted to.
You did a great job. Everyone said you were a great teacher.
Oh, thank you. So just trying to lighten a little more sky there to make it different on both sides. Let's see, standing back, this looks, I do try to simplify everything.
You've done a great job.
Thank you.
One thing I've come to find is when the chat is quiet, it means it's a good teacher.
Really? Oh, well, that's good to hear. I'm like, oh, either people fell asleep or that's very good to hear. I seem to have lost a little bit of that definition. We can add that back in. Something's not right there. I think it's a little too dark. Let's see. Okay, well, I think it goes back to there. I like that spot.
And when you said something isn't right here, is that just your gut feeling that values are off, or do you just not like the look of something?
Both. It's usually, I don't like the look of it, and it's probably because the values are off. Like this, actually, I went in there and then I didn't go back. It needed a little bit more dark. So I added that, but let's take a little bit of that away, break that line up a bit. It looked like I needed to break this up in here a bit. So there, that's what I needed. And it's, trial and error. Ah, that didn't work. Try something else. Oh, we didn't finish over here. I actually see some dark over here too, as far as just to break that up. I forgot about this. Let's go with a little more blue here. And make sure that sort of aligns. Not that that's really not a focal point of the painting, but I know that when this is done, I'm like, oh, why didn't I finish that? It's like you see things later.
Yeah.
That's the way it'll be.
Yeah, you got to walk away for a little bit.
Yep. So toward the end, I think about sometimes mark making, just a few more marks. Yeah, I still feel like there's some issue there. Just can't put my finger on it right now. It's soft. It's this area, I think. Maybe another layer of purple and another layer of a little bit of green.
Well, while Carol's finishing up her last little touches on this, make sure you guys check out her website. I'm going to put that up here on the screen. You can also find her on Instagram as well. She has a ton of beautiful paintings. So be sure to check that out. And then also on Wednesday, which is actually, gosh, now tomorrow, we are doing a roundtable with Cami Menlick and Carol Peebles. So check that out. It's going to be at streamlineartevents.com/roundtable. And I actually have a little picture here for you. I don't have Amandine here with me this week, so I'm trying to do all of the Amandine pieces. It's usually smoother with her hair. So be sure to check that out. It's noon, sorry, not noon. I guess it's 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. It's noon for me. So be sure to check that out. I think it's going to be a really good time. And then also, for all of you who are new, watch us on YouTube and Facebook and all of the places that we are. We're here every day at noon Eastern time during the weekdays. It's usually Eric. He'll be back in the office next week, so you'll get to see his face again. So be sure to check us out. I have loved doing this, getting to be here hosting these. I've learned so much from all of the artists that we've had on. And I have a few more coming up this week that I'm really excited about. We have someone from Watercolor Live who's going to be joining us. Another pastel artist I am friends with will be here on Thursday. And then tomorrow I have a shiny new guest. I don't think you guys know much about her. I found her on Instagram. So I'm excited for her to come in tomorrow. So be sure to keep watching. And I hope to see you guys all the rest of this week. Carol, is there anything else that you want to add before we go?
I don't think so. I hope had a way of enjoying color in a different way with the value sketches, and I hope it gives you some spontaneity and joy in your paintings.
I'm really excited to try this one because I love, love, love bright colors. So
Good.
very excited to try it.
I do too. Color is what makes me happy and gets me all excited.
Yep, same.
But thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Yes, I'm so glad that you decided to do it. So thank you so much to Carol. Thank you to all of you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.